Hey folks, this is Jake Davis with some old school wrestling for you today. Last month I did my first old school wrestling video where I talked about King of the Ring 1996, and that was, I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't a fun show. It wasn't a very good show, but it was historic mainly because of the rise of Stone Cold Steve Austin and that iconic promo he cuts towards the end of the show. Now, I gotta hold my shirt. God damn it, I didn't notice that. Oh well, fuck it. Anyway, today I decided to keep with the same concept. It's so last month I did a June show in June, so I'm gonna do a July show in July. I'm talking about ECW Heat Wave 2000. This event was held on July 16th of the year, and was live from Los Angeles, California. I want to say the Grand Olympic Auditorium was the name of the venue. I meant to write that down. The reason I wanted to select this video is about, less than 2 months after this show, ECW would lose their TV deal. And despite not having a TV deal, they'd still stay in business for a good 6 or 7 months before finally selling out, being bought out by Vince McMahon along with WCW. But point out, as much as I love WCW, after their last Nitro, they were done. At least ECW fought tooth and nail to the bitter end, man. You got to really, really hand it to them. But you see, I didn't get to see a lot of ECW during the 90s. I'll watch as much WWE and WCW as I get my hands on, but the more extreme, since I guess the attitude was, since me and my cousins and neighbors and friends were all doing backyard wrestling and being irresponsible and dangerous as it is, that I guess the line to my dad was the extreme shit. They already bleed and shit. I don't want you to start seeing barbed wire matches and shit like that. And looking back now, I understand where my dad was coming from. But eventually that did subside, and going into this show, I got to see some of the build for this show. So this was kind of the one and only ECW pay-per-view that, as an event, I had an investment in as a fan. Before sitting down and watching it for the very first time to record this video, all I could really remember hype-wise was the main event. And I had no idea. It wasn't until I watched it today that I found out all the insanity that surrounded that main event. And none of it had to do with anything in the actual match. July 2000 was a fucking weird month for pro wrestling. Oh boy. So let's just get into it. The show kicks off with Blue Boy Blue Meanie, now super trimmed down, actually cut, kind of looking good, or as good as he can, and dating porn star Jasmine St. Clair on the LA beach. A horrible overcast. You're just gonna get the worst rays on a day like that. Trust me. Decide that you want to go to the beach. Anyhow, they come across a guy on the beach, and fucking Blue Boy, the Blue Meanie of all people, is doing the whole Jack Verlaine, kick the sand in your face kind of deal, fucking with this dude. And the dude eventually has enough of it, gets up to get in his face. Jasmine St. Clair low blows him from... Did I say St. James earlier? Never mind. Low blows him from behind. Blue Meanie knocks him out, and they stroll off. I don't know why I thought this was so funny, but they actually did that on a wrestling show. God bless them. Then the camera just pans over to the other side of the beach, and there's the Sinister Minister, James Mitchell, in his red suit on the beach. And his cane and everything. He cuts his typical, if you didn't watch a lot of ECW shows, their pay-per-views were traditional. I've gone back and watched a lot of ECW since I've gotten the network, but I never got around to seeing this one for some fucking reason until I wanted to do this review. Anyhow, Mitchell cuts his typical pay-per-view beginning promo where he basically hypes up the card and kind of presents himself as a kayfabe version of Satan. And it's really interesting. They didn't let him go all out with his ECW gimmick when he was in TNA, but they could let him do some of it. the segment ends where he pans over. Mikey Whipwreck's buried up to his head like fucking Ted Danson in Creepshow. As the fucking tide's coming in, I'm like, oh shit, man, they're fucking gonna kill Mikey Whipwreck, but Mikey's okay. We'll see him later tonight. The show kicks off with the traditional old school, ECW promo. We got, or that might actually come a little bit later. But anyhow, we got Joey Styles and Joe Gertner in the ring. And once again, this is something that pay-per-views usually started with. Joey Styles is straight-laced down there. He might say some profanities every now and then, but they will come out of a moment of emotion. You know what I mean? Joe Gertner is just foul-mouthed. He's talking about, jizzing on the crowd and all kinds of nasty shit. Just not even a shred of subtlety. Foul language here. Yeah, and considering how pro wrestling's main demographic is like 14-year-old boys, this says a lot about the late 90s, my era that I grew up in. Cyrus the Virus, Don Callis, comes out, and he's representing TNN. And the great visual here, he's holding a mic that says TNN, and the other two guys are holding mics that say ECW. That's kind of cool to me. But he represents the network. He doesn't condone any of this profanity or any of this violence or any of this uncouth nature, even though he participates in all of it throughout the show. So his whole character just doesn't... His heel persona does not make sense to me. I think it would have been... If he was supposed to be the prudish representative of the network, I think he would have gotten much better heat coming out there, cutting nasty promos, but like casually using words like darn it and shit like that. You know what I mean? I think that would have gotten better heat with the crowd, but just it's very... It's like the Adam Sandler version of wrestling. It's just involved... It's the people involved behind the scenes and in the cast who have to make this shitty script work. Because ECW had shitty scripts. They had shitty booking. I'm sorry. Say whatever you want about ECW, but they have always... They never treated any of their talent, their top talent, with any fucking appreciation. The fact that Tommy Dreamer's world title reign was less than a day, and RVD never fucking came close to it. I mean, the two biggest icons that come out. Can you imagine WCW and fucking Sting was never champ? TNA and AJ Styles was never champ? Fucking WWE and Stone Cold was never the champion? No, it's ridiculous. If you can't be the poster boy, the guy synonymous with the brand, and not be given their belt while they gave the Sandman fight. Oh, I'm getting off on a rant here. I'm getting off on a goddamn rant. Anyhow. Cyrus and Don end up... Gertner says he's just going to leave. Him and Callis get into a brawl. The FBI come out. Balls Mahoney come out. And then Balls Mahoney knocks the shit out of Tony Mama Luke. And Mahoney and Big Sal start brawling. And, they have their, actually some kind of impressive shit. I mean, if I like big guy shit, and it was kind of cool to see Big Sal to me. No selling. And Balls Mahoney is a lot quicker and more nimble in the ring, or was, God rest his soul, than his size and look would give the impression of. My favorite spot of this match is Mahoney's on the floor, way the hell on the other side of the ring. Fucking Big Sal goes over here. He stands up in the corner in the bottom turnbuckle, then just hops down, does a slow chug, and just drops on the guy. The most lackadaisical move you've ever seen. Oh, man, I laughed my ass off. Some people might just say it was lazy, but I thought it was funny as hell. The finish comes from a splash or a powerbomb or some stupid fucking lazy shit. And there's never an opening bell, but Big Sal just goes for a cover. A referee slides in and counts 3. I guess that was a match. ECW. I think this is actually when we get the actual ECW long, big, hype promo. Extreme! That thing, we get backstage. RVD is with Bill Alfonso. Bill Alfonso just yelling random shit at the fucking camera. RVD's talking about his match with Scotty Anton, also known as Scotty Riggs in WCW. The former best friend, Scotty Riggs, calls him his 2-year-plus winning streak at the last pay-per-view against Jerry Lynn. and they're going to have a grudge match tonight. Just hyping up a match we'll see later on the card. Up next is a 6-man tag team match. We got Simon Diamond, Johnny Swinger, and C.W. Anderson with Louis Dangerously and Elektra, who Anderson instantly sends to the back, taking on the team of Danny Doring, Amish Roadkill, and Kid Cash. Now in the package going into this, they show that the 3 heels, who are Diamond, Swinger, and Anderson, attacked Bobby Ian and beat the shit out of him. So this is like a revenge match. The 3 baby faces getting with him. Now, I got a couple things I'm going to say. First off, I'm really confused. Why did they send Elektra to the back? Now, I know Elektra was former manager of Doring and Roadkill, team I like. I'm about to talk about them. But after she betrayed them at Living Dangerously in March, and any team that was fighting them, she was with. I swear to God, her story was feuding with their team that she's betrayed for like the rest of ECW's run, like the whole last year of the company. But Danny Doring and Amish Roadkill, what a fucking oddball tag team that is. The Sexual Deviant and the Amish Far Boy. I love it. And by the way, Roadkill is really fucking over. This crowd loves him. This is a huge flippy spot fest. All 6 of these guys are really athletic, very fast, and definitely over. I enjoyed the shit out of this match. My only real problem with this match was I think it could have gone another 5 to 10 minutes. The baby faces went over. Doring, Roadkill, and Kid Cash. And Kid Cash is not a wrestler I've ever really... I just don't like his personality, him as a guy, but I've always really liked his work in the ring. We go backstage with Rhino, and, this was ECW Rhino, baby. Ooh. Now, Rhino has always been kind of one of my unsung favorites. I love Rhino. When I was... Well, I ain't going to get into it, but I kind of... Because of my height and my build, like, if I would have become a pro wrestler, I think he would have been closer to the kind of build I would eventually come across, because I'm not very tall. But I love the fact that he's not tall, but he's 300 pounds, and he just looks unstoppable. How could you fucking handle the Rhino? He's badass, and ECW had one of the best fucking gimmicks any wrestler ever had. Kane may look like a monster. Mankind may be inspired by movie villains, but fucking Rhino is a serial killer. You really believe that this man is trying to murder the people he gets in the ring with. And his whole promo is basically talking about he's going to kill the Sandman's wife. Next up is a match as soon as the guys came out, I got super stoked for this. Because these are 2 guys I really, really like. Steve Corino with Jack Victory in his corner, man. High spot. I like Jack Victory. Taking on Jerry Lynn. And Jerry Lynn and Steve Corino had terrific energy. Great chemistry together. Great styles. Clashing styles. Oh, such good stuff. And they hit the ground running. I mean, less than a second into this match. Fucking hell for leather. Bell rings. Bam, 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 bam. They're going at it all over the place. Dives. Splashes, fucking chair shots, slow blows, fighting through the crowd. Fucking Steve Corino get blades from a steel chair. It is nasty. It is hellacious. Finisher City, near fall city. The finish comes when Jerry Lynn hits his cradle driver, the nasty version he did in ECW, not the safe version where he landed on his knees in WWE. Oh man, I loved this match. This may be one of the best matches I've ever seen from ECW. I loved it. I love this goddamn match. This match alone gets 5 stars. And this match gets stars. I haven't done that in one of my videos, but this match was a 5-star match. Next up, we go to the Sandman with his wife in their locker room. His wife, Lori, isn't really talking. There's a package earlier. We see what Rhino did to her at the last pay-per-view. And then the pay-per-view before that, he really brutalized her and attacked her. Sandman is challenging for the television title tonight, but he's much more concerned about the safety of his family. And while he's talking, Rhino sneaks up behind him, knocks the shit out of him, drags his wife into their personal bathroom, and tries to drown her in the toilet bowl. And, the security come in, and Sandman's trying to fight him. They got to drag the guys off. What the fuck? In all other wrestling companies, they would have called the cops on Rhino by now. But no, we'll just let him keep the TV title because I ain't going to go fuck with him. Rhino, man. Rhino's the best. Shortly after this, Dawn Marie shows up at the commentary table, and she's going to be here for the rest of the night. God bless us. Christ, I love life, man. Next up was a tag team match. The Baldies, Angel and Vito, gotta be, I mean, obvious homage to the Philip Kaufman film, The Wanderers, from the late 70s. Taking on the team of Hollywood, he's not Hollywood Nova, Chris Nova and Chris Chetty. If you know WWE in the mid-2000s, he was Simon Dean, who was basically a Richard Simmons parody in the mid-2000s. So relevant. This is just... Oh, right before this match break, this is one of those impromptu kind of matches the ECW always like to do, because New Jack is walking to the ring on crutches, and I had to groan because I hate New Jack. I'm actually glad he was hurt this time because he's not on the fucking card. He gets jumped by the Baldies. Chetty and Nova jump them, and a tag team match starts. I gotta say, I like Nova's fucking low rent goddamn Flash gear, man. He's trying to look like the Flash, but he's no Rey Mysterio. He's literally just got yellow boots, red spandex pants, and an actual Flash t-shirt. Oh, it's awful. But yeah, there's lots of flips. The bad guys hit hard. The baby faces fly high. It wasn't a bad match, but it didn't have the animosity. The tension that the Six Man had earlier. The weaker tag match went later. Up next was Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer backstage is cutting a great promo about how I was the world champion. I finally got there, and you stole it from me, just incredible. Moments away, and like every couple of lines, he slams his head into the fucking locker next to him. And he's bleeding hard away. Like after two or three shots, he hits himself a good maybe 12, 13 times. He headbutts his fucking locker. And he's just talking about the pain that he's going to put himself through. He can suffer. He can hate. He can take it all out on you, Credible, and he's going to win the Stairway to Hell, and he's going to beat ECW champion. Fucking love Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer was great, man. Great promo. Up next is a three-way dance. Little Guido, also known as Nunzio, of the FBI, taking on the newly returning Psychosis. I didn't even know Psychosis went back to ECW there, man. I thought he kind of rode WCW out and just was mistreated. And Yoshihiro Tajiri, who, remember, in ECW wasn't played as a comedy gimmick. He was played as this vicious Japanese destroyer despite his size. Before the match even starts, Mikey Whipwreck comes out with a Sinister Minister wearing a fucking suit. Sort of a suit. And just makes it a four-way. Whipwreck gets eliminated. I mean, it's not like right away. There's a lot of craziness, but Whipwreck gets eliminated first after a three-way pile-up. Psychosis is taken out by Tajiri after a stiff fucking German suplex, and Tajiri finally takes out Guido with Green Mist and a Brainbuster on a chair. Now, I ran through that, but that was some badass action. My only real problem with, it seems like every ECW pay-per-view I've ever seen always has a three-way or a four-way, and always has Guido, Nunzio, Tajiri, or Super Crazy. Yes, dear?
In my Kool-Aid.
Absolutely. Hold on, you're going to get all over your dress.
Oh.
You want to say hello?
Hello.
I can't see you.
Hello.
Oh, you got so close there.
So bright.
They're going to get scared when they see that. Here you go. Yeah, it is bright, ain't it? Oh, plus your face is dirty. Alright, I love you, baby. I'll be out in a minute, okay? Shut my door! Thank you. We have a promo backstage of Just Incredible, the world champion, with Francine. They're sitting on the steps. He's talking about... I was too distracted by the fact that Francine doesn't say shit. And you see a guy going to walk in the back. He's going to walk behind him in the back, just stops. But he doesn't get out of frame. So you just, through Credible's whole promo, you see a guy just back there waiting for him to finish so he could go where he was going. Up next is the TV title match. The Sandman versus Rhino. Jesus Christ. This is just brutality, horrificness. I've never really been a fan of the Sandman. In fact, I hate him, to be honest. I mean, sure, he'll bump his ass off, but his bumps don't look safe. His matches aren't intriguing, and I don't think I've ever rooted for him in a match. Even with this, he's literally trying to stop Rhino from just murdering his family. I still don't care. I don't care about him. He takes a year and a half to get to the ring. They bring out a guardrail early on. Now, guardrail was the MVP of this match, because that shit took some damage, man. They must take 4 or 5, maybe 7 spots on that fucking guardrail, including the finish. Jack Victory and Steve Corino run out. Steve Corino with his head bandaged up, still absolutely covered in blood. I mean, you got bandaged up, I'm glad, but could have taken the towel. Could have taken the towel. And Spike Dudley walks out with a fucking giant leg cast on. I don't know if that was kayfabe or not. I won't be surprised if it wasn't. But he comes off to even the odds for Sandman. They fight off Corino in victory, but Rhino gets the best of him. Hits hits a pile driver on the guardrail and retains the television championship. Was really it wasn't my least favorite match of the night. The first match probably was. That's great. I'm still shooting this video.
I like to watch the tablet.
I'll be out in a minute. Okay? Kids. There's more Dawn Marie. I should point out that there's 3 segments in this show where they just go to Dawn Marie being sexy and voluptuous and flirtatious on commentary. Don Callis acting like the kind of pig that Jerry Lawler would step in front of, and just Joey Styles literally just throwing his hands up, being done with all of it. As far as Dawn Marie, I want to say something about modern female characters. I understand there may be the sense that, the set spot character is dated or offensive, but girls like Sunny, Dawn Marie, Terry Runnels, fucking Velvet Sky, Lita, Francine, they all really got it over, and it may come off offensive, it's certainly not feminist, but look at how shallow the pool of characters for the girls are now. The baby faces are sweethearts, and the heels are bitches. And there's nothing else to them in a lot of ways. Other girls have been able to nuance, become really flesh out more characters. I mean, I don't really like Charlotte Flair, but it's more overexposure than anything else. But at least she's found something about her niche, a niche in her character that can work both as a heel and face and stand out as her own. This is dire. You have to stand out. And I'm sorry, but they may have been over-sexualized, they may have been mistreated, but I just think the women we had, the crew of women we had 20 years ago, when you had Lita, Trish, Molly Holly, Victoria, Jacqueline, Ivory, and Jazz, and Gail Kim, all in the show at the same time, they're far more personality. They didn't get the match time the girls do today, but that doesn't mean they didn't do more with the time they had. I guess I'm done with that. Up next is our grudge match. Scotty Anton, Scotty Riggs taking on RVD with Bill Alfonso. And I told you that, Scotty Riggs fucked up his running streak. Scotty Riggs, or Anton, I'm going to call him Scotty Riggs, comes out doing this ridiculous over-the-top clap thing. His song is going, I'll give you the clap. What the fuck is this? What a weird gimmick, man. But I laughed at it. But yeah, he's so obnoxious and so trying to be like, I think what he's going for is trying to play that kind of character that guys like Chris Jericho and The Rock really hated doing, where they have to be that super smiley, hug the kid, yeah, I'm so rowdy and happy to be here, and darn tootin', I'm going to give him my best. I think he's trying to play that kind of disingenuous babyface, but as a heel, but it's not really fleshed out enough, or maybe he didn't have time to flesh out enough, but I'm intrigued by that. That's the kind of thing that I think could have really gone over in ECW. But this is easily the longest match of the night. And, it's an RVD match. Impressive acrobatics. These guys work really well together. There's this brutal spot that Shayna Baszler must have saw when she was, 20. Where RVD's wrist is flat, elbows here, and he's just like, Scotty, I can't even bend that way. It's a nasty spot. It's a nasty spot. It looks like he broke his fucking arm. Eventually, Van Dam hits the 5-star frog splash, which is the setup to his new finisher, the Van Terminator. Later called the Van... I think they just called it the Coast to Coast. Even when RVD did it in WWE, and they called the Van Daminator that kick he did to the chair, I think. But he does that, the Coast to Coast thing, Alfonso holding the chair in his face, and RVD wins a pretty good damn match. Main event time. This is Tommy Dreamer versus Just Incredible with Francine for the ECW title Stairway to Hell match. Just Incredible has Francine in his corner. Tommy Dreamer has Jazz and Gorgeous George in his corner. Seconds after the bell rings, there's this huge commotion at ringside. Now, from my first impression, what I saw, it looks like some guys get handsy with Francine and get rejected from the arena. But then the entire locker room comes out, which comes off, what exactly is the fuck going on here? So, I guess that wasn't the case of what happened. Apparently, these guys were trying to start some shit. They had a girl with them. They're from a local promotion. And apparently, the local promotion wanted to start some shit with the ECW locker room and promote their show at the ECW pay-per-view. They had their Bodacious Babe and their big guys and their t-shirts. They went to put on their t-shirts right before the main event. The security told them not to. The wrestlers had them run off. And then there was apparently a big brawl between all these wrestlers, a real one, a shoot, in the fucking parking lot. And I guess ECW filed a lawsuit and everything against these guys. I watched Rob Black's promo he cut on it back in 2000, like when it happened. And boy, does he come off like a sack of shit. I don't know how much his character and how much is a real sack of shit there. But it totally pulls focus from the entire main event. The whole time, the crowd expected, what the fuck was that? Was that a rib? Was that part of the show? Was that real? What's going on? Are these guys going to come back? The intrigue from the title match is gone, and that sucks. Because it's a decent match. Gorgeous George turns heel, obviously, but Jazz beats the shit out of both girls anyways. Horrible bump Francine takes. Like she's trying to knock Tommy off the ladder, but he falls wrong and lands right on top of her. And it crushes her. It's a very scary spot, but she gets right up, man. Tough chick, she was. And that's the thing. Francine was probably the most consistent element to the ECW main event scene. It's really weird. Well, she never got called up by WWE. I don't know what the story is. Maybe they thought she was too adult, or just she wasn't interested. Who knows? But it's weird why Francine never popped up in WWE. I guess the whole deal to this match is the guy who climbs the ladder and gets the barbed wire can use the barbed wire, but you don't have to climb the barbed wire to win it, because there's pinfalls anyways. I hate these gimmicks. I hate those kind of gimmicks. Why have a ladder if you don't need the ladder to win? So, Tommy Dreamer hits the tomahawk, which a finisher I absolutely love. It's basically like the running power slam flip back into a diamond cutter. Just Incredible kicks out. Bullshit. Just Incredible then hits That's Incredible, which is the jumping, spinning tombstone onto the barbed wire and retains the title. Fuck you. I mean, I knew going into this Tommy Dreamer didn't get the belt back, but still, fuck you. There's no good reason for it. The crowd wanted Tommy to win. Tommy should have won this match. All that being said, I enjoyed this show so much more than I enjoyed King of the Ring 96. A far better show. I mean, from top to bottom. And this isn't even really considered that great of an ECW show, but I'm still going to give it a B+. Not that means anything. My favorite match of the night was easily Carino and Lynn, but the six-man tag was great, and the Scotty Riggs and RVD match was pretty damn badass. And just the overall commotion, what the fuck was going on, was damn intriguing at first, but it drew so much focus away from the main event, and that's a shame. Anyhow, I hope you guys like this review, this video. I'm going to do another of these old school rasslin videos next month, probably. And since next month is August, I already know what I'm going to be revisiting. I'm going to be revisiting the very first pay-per-view I ever got to see live. I mean, I wasn't there, but, it was the first one my family ever rented for me. And it was Road Wild 1998. Yes, WCW pay-per-view match of Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Tonight Show's Jay Leno. Hope y'all are looking forward to it. I sure am. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.